great things happen when you take the path less traveled, which is always risky, and there is a high probability of failure. So, you know, I like to say this to everybody, being an entrepreneur requires you to have enough capital, enough cash to manage your expenses. You don't have to live luxurious lives, but you have to make sure you can feed your family. It takes a lot of intensity and passion and hard work in the early days. You have to make some sacrifices. So having something totally balanced while starting a really entrepreneurial idea, it's probably not going to happen, but it will happen eventually once you achieve your dreams. It's not really about the money, for me at least. I mean, of course, we all enjoy wealth and money, but that becomes, at a certain point, a scorecard for how well you've done in your business. It's about doing what you're really passionate about and making impact. That's what drives you. And if you're able to do that in whatever field you're in, you don't have to make a lot of money, but being passionate about what you're doing and being happy about doing what you're doing and making impact, I think that's important. And if you can do that in your current job, more power to you. But if you can't and you feel you can make more impact, then entrepreneurship's a good way to go, because then the reins are in your hands. The more challenges you have, the more opportunities you have. And being on the ground in Pakistan, we're blessed with a lot of challenges. So there's tremendous opportunity to innovate and to fix problems, I think, in Pakistan. A lot of amazing things have also happened on the ground in Pakistan. There are now 110 million mobile phone subscribers, which is one of the fastest growth in the world. So everybody has a cell phone now in Pakistan and use it to text and to talk. So that's opened up a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurship. Internet growth has been tremendous. So India has internet rate of about 6%, and in Pakistan we have about 13%. So per capita, more people have internet access. So from a business perspective, using these channels of the internet and phones and seeing all the problems around you, you're going to come up with hundreds of ideas a day that you can actually implement, which is extremely exciting. Also, because not as many people are doing them, it gives you a competitive edge. If I started a job site in the US, you probably wouldn't have heard of me. But because we were not the first one to do it, but the first ones to do it well in the country, we were able to get very, very big quickly. So that's another advantage.
Also, Monis, do you mind speaking a little to, if you guys look up Monis online, he was recently interviewed by Forbes, and he talks a little bit about getting investors to actually back him up in a region that's so unstable. So if you could speak to that just a little bit, and then Bilaal can ping in afterwards.
So look, you guys, anybody who's interested in entrepreneurship in the US, you guys are born here, you know the culture, you know the language, the dynamics. The US is the best place to raise funding. A lot of funding is available right now. There have been some fantastic stories like Facebook, Zynga, Groupon. A lot of exits have happened, so investors are eager to invest. If you have a good idea, the US is the easiest place in the world to raise funding. One of the hardest places in the world to raise funding is in Pakistan. So if I was able to do it in Pakistan, believe me, you can do it here in the US. The key is, and you know, just to kind of, you need to prove that you're going to give investors a return. So if you have an idea, investors need to know that they can make profit on investing in you and absorbing that risk with you. And I agree 100% with what you were saying. Lean startup. And I'm just thrilled to see this event. I think it's a fantastic event, and I applaud that all of you are here to attend it. One of the things I understand you will be talking about is networking and how to network. It's a singular most important thing as an entrepreneur to reach out, because that's what creates opportunities for you. I remember when I was starting out, I was very interested in meeting Reid Hoffman, and I found a friend who knew him, friends of friends, and now we're very good friends. Likewise, now we're expanding our business outside the country. The person who's considered the Steve Jobs in the Middle East, Fadi, started Aramex, amazing individual. He's also now just recently invested in my company. He's also a good friend. But I think networking is probably one of the most critical factors to the success we've seen. And you guys have to be extrovert. You have to attend events. You have to seek each other out and seek out people who can add into anything you're doing. The moment you find out that you're not really enjoying what you're doing, you're not making an impact, it's getting boring, and you feel you can do a lot more, then you have to challenge yourself. And it's uncomfortable to challenge yourself. It's a lot like standing at the top of a diving board for the first time and you look down and it's really scary and you don't want to jump. But you think about it in your mind, you've rationalized it. You're like, yeah, well, there's some risk, I could break my neck, but I've really planned it well. If I jump and I land on my feet, I'll be okay, it's water. But forcing yourself to go through and do it takes a bit of initiative. But the first time you do it, you learn that you do land on your feet. And then you become more aware of how to take risk intelligently. And I don't want to leave you with the thought, well, entrepreneurs take risks, so I'm going to do something crazy and take a risk. Entrepreneurs learn how to take risks well.
Going back to this earlier point about networking, building your contacts, building relationships with people is part of that a way of managing your risks, of building a safety net. Because if you find people who really believe in you, who share your vision, they will want you to succeed as much as you want yourself to succeed. So go out and don't be afraid to talk to people and build relationships, like meaningful relationships, empathetic relationships, and that will open up paths to succeed. If you are alone, whether you are like a solo entrepreneur or you've got co-founders but you don't have mentors, then your risk is so much more increased.
Reality versus idealism. Entrepreneurs tend to be very ideal. You know, you need to have a solution that's addressing a problem and not a solution that's trying to find a problem. And the sooner you can align that ideal vision you have with reality, the better. And I think we spoke a little bit about that. You have to test it. You have to make sure that the market is interested in what you have to sell. And if it's not, you have to change your plan. So aligning that reality with that idealism, doing it early on as possible to validate your idea is the most valuable thing you can do. The other thing that you asked about, and I think it's really important, I saw a question up here, how do you choose your initial startup team? Understanding your own talent and what you can do well is extremely critical, and all of you are really good at something. But understanding what you're not good at, that's how you decide which people to bring onto your team, people who complement your skill set. You might be fantastic at creating products, but you don't know how to sell them. Well, find a co-founder, find a partner who knows how to sell. So you complement your skill sets and create a holistic view. So understanding yourself and understanding how to find the people who have the skills that you don't have but share the passion that you have are critical, and that comes back to networking.